Welcome, Danny Lau. We are thrilled to have you here and just so excited that you were selected by the National Association of Realtors to be on their 30 under 30 list. So congratulations for that. What an amazing start to your career.
Thank you, and thank you for having me here.
Well, we're delighted to do that because we want to find out a little bit more about what you do and how you do it. And I know that one of the things, social media and video are key in your business. So can you tell us a little bit about that, how you're using video perhaps?
Yeah, I think video is probably one of the best ways to have like a captive audience, because if you are delivering value during the video shoots and you can put your face in front of your sphere of influence, you have a captive audience for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, so that people can actually get to know you beyond just saying what's sold, what's for sale. They actually get to know your personality a little bit. And so that's actually the biggest way I'm leveraging videos.
Cool. And how often do you create new content?
You know, probably not as often as I should. I think this is still a part that I'm trying to dial in even more for the last 2 years. I've been doing it basically once a week, and my goal was to be top of mind. Now, once a week is probably a little more often than needed. So I'm actually trying to scale back a little bit so that people still know that I'm active. They can still see me if they're looking through my social media. But you know, there's a sweet spot between how much time I'm dedicating towards shooting videos versus, you know, going out there actually selling houses.
Yeah, and then there's that. Well, there's frequency, like you said, which, you know, dialing that is important. And then I imagine it's having good content as well. It's probably, can you tell us a little bit about that, what your content looks like? And
yeah, actually the
topics?
content, you know, ranges. At the heart of it, my goal is to deliver value through all the different contents, and they range anywhere from market updates. So, hey, what's going on out there from me being in the trenches, and what's my perspective of the local market? Because, hey, we see a lot of news articles, and consumers out there want to know how's the market, not just on a national level, but how is it in the Sacramento area? How is it specifically in Davis, Woodland, Yolo County, where I am? That's number one. Homeowner tips, you know, what are some of the upgrades that you can do to increase equity in your house without overspending? You know, what are some tricks and tips in terms of landing? And sometimes I also have like collaboration with other people to have like interview formats, whether it's with a different partner or with the CEO of my company. You know, one way or the other is to generate value to my audience and people who I want to communicate to.
So you, excuse me, I get all choked up when I do this, right? So you're based out of the Davis office, but I know that you live in Woodland, you use that office as well. So when you're creating content or doing market updates, you kind of hone them down specific to the different market areas or neighborhoods that you work in, or is it a little bit more global?
Yeah, a little bigger than that. You know, if I hone it in way too much, then, you know, my potential audience is probably only going to be like 3 people. And so, you know, I still want to have, you know, capture a little bit of attention, so I don't go way too specific and become pigeonholed in any one particular niche.
Cool. So how do you promote the videos, you know, once you get them, you know, created?
Yeah, so, you know, creating the content is only one part of the whole push for my face to be in front of people. And so once you create a video, you still need distribution channels, and the distribution channels I go through actually is really good, because once I created the content, I can leverage the content I have created to generate more different contents for my other social media channels, such as my Instagram page, my YouTube channel, my Facebook channel. And so once I created a video, I have a thumbnail that I created through either Canvas or, you know, Adobe, and then now I'm pasting that either still shots or video to different social media outlets to generate more posts and more engagements to everybody who is finding me through a different source.
Now, you have an economics degree from UC Davis, right?
Yes.
And that's pretty complicated major. So for our agents that are either new to video or want to scale it a little bit more, is it complicated? You know, can you offer them some tips or shortcuts on how they may be able to get started or level up?
I think the easiest way to get started is just that, to get started. I think if you look back at the very first video on my YouTube channel, it's probably something really embarrassing and just me doing a selfie video of some sorts. And then from there, you kind of figure out what works best for you in terms of your personality and your skill sets, right? And so, you know, I don't think I have really high skill level when it comes to video shooting, but I have since the beginning increased my budget and increased my equipment capacity to a stand, a light, a microphone. And so I start dialing that in, and you kind of learn as you go. So that's just no better way to start than to start.
So do you favor Instagram or Facebook? I mean, what's your amount of focus, or do you think which one has more traction, gets more traction for people these days?
Different audiences, different demographic. Something I mentioned before, I think is social media is almost necessary evil in our business. We don't have the luxury not to communicate with people in all the channels that we possibly can. And what better way to access your sphere of influence or your old classmates or your neighbors or your coworkers than social media? The interesting part about Facebook and Instagram is they have slightly different tailored demographic, whereas Instagram, you have the Gen Z, you have your millennials. Facebook possibly have your baby boomers and your Gen X. Yeah. And so, I would actually leverage both channels, but then the content I put out is slightly tailored to who I think may be watching it on the other end. Now, I can't speak to the Gen Z part yet because I do not have a TikTok. So maybe once you get an agent with a TikTok, let me know, and I'll be watching that video to get a tutorial.
We're going to look for that. So tell me, Danny, are there other ways that you communicate with your relationships, with your database, if you will, outside of video? What are your favorite ways that you stay in touch and contact?
I'm probably not the most sophisticated person when it comes to this particular part. I know I can do a much better job with my CRM and my touching base with my database because my process is unfortunately a little bit more manual than some of the other really sophisticated agents who can do a great job with a CRM. But even though it's a little bit more manual, and that's the con, the pro side of this is I have a much more organic interaction with my past clients and potential clients' sphere of influence, because I may be just scrolling through Facebook and I see a funny meme and it would just associate with, hey, John Smith, who I sold a home to 2 years ago, I think he'll find this funny. And so even though I don't necessarily have a really sophisticated system to communicate with past clients, I think that personal touch kinds of give me a leg up as well.
So last year you did about, I think close to 9 million. I think you were over 8 million last year in production. And this year you're off to another great start. You're probably number 7 in the Davis office right now, year to date, which is a very productive office. So that's a good place to be there. Are your folks, your family glad that you went into real estate? With that economics degree and so forth, were they thinking you might be doing something different?
I think they're just starting to come around. Yeah. I think, these days, my mom especially, she's starting to be more engaged and asking me like, yeah, how's business going? But prior to this, she's like, son. And I have that Asian parental expectations on my back. And so just now, with 30 under 30, I'm getting a tiny little, happy sticker, and my parents are starting to come around to see the possibility in this particular industry as well.
Well, you're off to a great start, and 1.5 million plus realtors in the associations I mentioned, and probably quite a few, in this day and age that are under 30. So it's a significant achievement, and also the way you've come out of the gate, it looks like your future is extremely bright if you just keep doing what you're doing. What do you do for fun, though? What do you like to do? Some things?
I actually, well, it might sound cliche, but my favorite thing is to work. It's not even work when you're enjoying yourself. I'm a people person, and my wife actually calls it gamifying being an extrovert. And so I just love hanging out with people. I love being able to connect people to their dream homes. And so in a way, that's what I do for fun, which is work. Now, beyond that, though, I'm gonna throw a plug in because I actually do foster kittens for the Yolo County SPCA and Orphan Kitten Project based out of UC Davis. And so I'm a huge animal person, especially I foster little kittens. And so during kitten season, if anybody is looking for a cat, feel free to give me a call.
There's no shortage, right? That need
no
a home.
shortage.
Well, I would also, like to ask you, Danny, before we let you go, is there a special Lion tool that you like, or resource, or is there something that you favor in our?
Yeah, actually, there's a couple that I actually really love, enjoy, and I highly recommend everybody to leverage. Shout out to my lovely ladies at the relocation department. Janet and Natalie are one of my favorite tools to leverage and use. They are fantastic at what they do. Shout out to my office assistant, Ashley. Can't do the job without her. Of course, all our TC team, Chandra, that I work with. Now, beyond all these tools, I actually also really like the I forgot what do you call it, monthly subscription.
The digital, like Lolo or From Your Friends.
I was actually going for all the top 10 hiking
the
spots.
blog, the Lion Local blog.
Yes, yes, I was drawing a blank. But those are actually really fun, engaging, and I blast that to my social media, and a lot of my friends and family say, oh my gosh, I just never heard of this hike, but now I saved it. And so I find huge value in some of those blogs that
Best burgers, where you can take your dog to a restaurant,
exactly.
No,
exactly.
I repost those as well. I love that content.
Yeah.
So good.
So those are the couple areas that I really enjoy from Lion.
Well, I love that you are in what we believe is the Lion fabric. You're connected to that with the way you support those animals, and also the way that you offer gratitude to your staff and your manager and Ashley, Laura and Ashley and Natalie and Janet. I think what you give out in slices comes back in loaves, as they say, but we're really proud to have you on our team and grateful that you're out there in Davis. And I'm just really excited to see what other accomplishments that you achieve over the next few years and over in a long career here with Lion. So thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.